Hi, welcome to Grimalkin Wednesdays. My name's Judy and I run Quiet Year Records. We're raising money for Virginia Anti-Violence Project, which is an organization in Virginia that supports LGBTQIA plus survivors of violence of a bunch of different kinds of forms. They do a lot of different kinds of services. So if you need help or want to give help, their website is virginiaavp.org. Please donate, become a monthly recurring donor, volunteer, learn some things, be a nice person. Welcome to Groom Your Wednesdays. That's what it's all about, I guess. Today is a special day because we're going to have Sofia be our guest host to interview this one. And then a special performance by Jorge from Fear Not Ourselves Alone. And we're going to be talking about some cool things. So, hi, Sofia. Welcome to my show.
Judy. Hi, Judy. How has your day been so far?
My day's been okay. It's mostly prepping for this, running errands. I took my neighbor's dog to the vet and I did some math things for what? Wait. No, I just got a notification that I got logged out. Am I still here?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, where was I? I took my neighbor's dog to the vet today and then did some like math stuff for Ice Cream Social because we just put out the .NET 1.5 comp, and then have been pretty much just trying to make sure I'm like ready to do this.
Why don't you talk about the .NET 1.5 comp a little bit and tell me what that's all about?
Sure. So aside from Quiet Year, I'm also a part of this group called Ice Cream Social. Used to be called Ice Cream Support Group, but now we're Ice Cream Social, and it's this like platform, artist collective, like mutual aid fundraising group, kind of a friend group too type thing. But we also like work with like artists all around the country, mostly up and down the East Coast. Mostly based on dance music, I would say, but also you can dance to anything. So there's a lot of different genres that span there. So yeah, Ice Cream Social does like usually pre-pandemic would do like monthly parties, fundraiser events, hangouts, things like that, as well as like weekly like online mixes from the resident DJs that are with Ice Cream Social. There's kind of always something going on, such as Sofia, who is one of the Ice Cream Social DJs.
Hi, I'm Sofia. Sofia Lakis, Ice Cream Social Techno Jock.
May I also ask, how long has Ice Cream Social existed?
I think we just celebrated the 2-year anniversary was mid last year because we celebrated that with I think that was with the Blood Rave. We had a Blood Rave themed Ice Cream Social. Yes. So it's like this big dance party, like the Blood Rave scene from Blade
themed dance party.
The big thing that Ice Cream Social has been doing is .NET 1.5. It's like the sequel to .NET 1.0 that we did earlier this year, back in like at the end of May. And yeah, that was like a virtual online festival that raised like over $5,000 in less than a day. And then this is a digital fundraiser compilation album with like 14 I believe, original tracks from a bunch of really great artists from across the country who pretty much were just given the prompt to make dance music. Like literally nothing else other than that, just like, you know, make a song, we like your work. So yeah, we've been using that to fundraise for Peter's Place, RVA, which is sober housing for and support for LGBTQIA plus folks, and Transneedle Exchange, which provides free needle supplies for HRT or people using HRT and hormones. They also have like Narcan supplies and harm reduction supplies as well as fundraising for the artists, because part of Ice Cream and part of Quiet Year too is the value that artists should get paid for their work, even if it's a fundraiser, especially if it's a fundraiser, because you know, if we're all trying to look out for each other, we gotta make sure everybody's needs are met, you know, to like keep it sustainable. So that's pretty much what's been going on someday in camp.
Nice. That's really cool. So what is the extent of your involvement with Ice Cream Social? What would you say that you happen to do for the group and stuff? Because you know it's mostly an artist collective, and I know that you have been like a part of like show booking with us and stuff before, but like, would you say that that's like your particular role, or do you feel like there's more of an expanded thing that you take a hand in?
I think for Ice Cream Social, like my role is mostly stuff that's like behind the scenes. That's kind of like logistics and planning and like aftermath type stuff. So like for example, like for a given like Ice Cream Social like party event in real life, it'd be like the other members of the team, Angel and Noir, would book the artists on there. I'd probably help collaborate with the venue depending on what the venue is, and like kind of helping set up in that way. Mostly doing like promotion and then like day of logistical stuff. For example, if like someone needs to like have gear brought to the place, like I'll go pick it up and take it over there, or someone needs a ride, or what have you. Like I'm kind of there, like, oh, someone needs to like work the front door. Okay, well I'm here, I'll do it. Like that kind of fill in role, and then afterwards kind of doing the accounting, keeping track of like math stuff. So I feel like I'm kind of like the, I don't know, calculator. Feels good. I like it.
The accountant, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, if I can like follow up on that too, just because I'm commenting from my humble place as like a tiny little New Yorker, so I'm just curious, like how large is this organization? And I saw Sophia define it as like an artist collective. So I'm just curious, like maybe like how big is Ice Cream Social? Is it just like anyone can be a part of it? Are there like 10, 15 of you, like 30, and is it hierarchical? Can I get some addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers?
Yeah.
Please.
3 numbers on the back of the card. So I don't know if me and Judy are necessarily the best to ask for like a complete history and overview, because we're like, I would say like newer additions to the collective, where because Ice Cream Support Group did presage it. And that was like a thing that was started primarily by Angel Flowers, who is still, I would say, sort of like the matriarch of Ice Cream Social and the main mind that kind of brings all these various threads together. And in terms of like how many of us are there, that number has been in flux for a long time. But at this point, it's kind of like a friends and associates thing. As Judy said before, it's kind of like, we started as a friend group who kind of wanted to like make things together and collaborate together on like throwing parties and shows and different types of events and releases.
It's pretty based around Richmond DIY, y'all would both say, just primarily, or are there like kind of like little pockets elsewhere? Or...
I would say there's kind of pockets. Honestly, because it's like kind of like how there's like touring. It's pretty much like touring acts, except they're like more one-off shows than touring based. I would say a lot more. It's like it'd be fine to like book a DJ to come down from New York for one night and then like pay them like $500 or whatever. And like that would be more, I would say, a normal occurrence than would say like being like, oh hey, you're on tour. Can you stop by? Like in that kind of relationship. Does that make sense? Would you say that's accurate, Sophia?
I think so. I think it's kind of like the core of Ice Cream Socials primarily is in Richmond, because that's where like the main residence and the most of the events occur. But there have been moments where like me and Angel have gone on tours together, where it was like booked as kind of like an Ice Cream Social on the road, where we would like collaborate with people that we had hosted in Richmond, and then we would go to their cities and play their cities, and we have kind of like, I guess there's like an extended family of different collectives that are associated with Ice Cream Social, like the Flawless group that does dance parties in Philadelphia that used to be based out of Blacker, which is rest in peace now. But like essentially like and Body Hack and stuff, like BB Basura and like Pre-Columbian, who were 2 DJs who did Flawless stuff regularly, would come to Richmond and play Ice Cream Socials, and then we would go and do like a Ice Cream Social X Flawless dance party at Blacker in Philadelphia and something like that.
Yeah, like the main team is Angel, Noir, and me. So like we'd be like the main admin team, and then like kind of like in a similar bubble to our like the resident DJs, and there's probably like less than 10 DJs, I think, and then there are people who we kind of like tap and invite to do projects with us, and like to be on compilations and mixes and things like that.
Yeah. There's like Listless is kind of like the unofficial ice cream house band, you know, like just in terms of like, and I'm an ice cream social resident DJ, and then the singer of the band is like, you know, besties, friend roommates with Angel and Judy and stuff, and so it's like very close knit artist community that just, you know, tries to support each other. Like there's the Great Dismal Collective that I belong to also in Richmond. It's more of like a punk DIY rock, I would say, music kind of focused thing, but it's more expansive than that, obviously. But it has like a similar ethos to Ice Cream Social, and so those two collectives work in tandem like all the time. You know.
Yeah, I appreciate the overview, both of you. Like, as someone that's just only been in like Richmond a handful of times, like, yeah, just very cool to know about like this kind of artist collective that exists there. And yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It's something that I think me and Judy are both pretty passionate about. And not to change the subject, maybe to divert the path, I wanted to say, aside from being involved in Ice Cream Social, obviously Judy is the head of Quiet Ear Records, and I wanted to know, have you had much of an opportunity to talk about Quiet Ear on the show yet? And would you like to go into it a little bit? Like, what is Quiet Ear Records, and what is it? What do you do for it?
Oh, that's a big question. What was the first part? Can we take it step by step?
I'm just kind of asking in general, what is Quiet Ear Records, and what do you do for it?
Okay. Well, Quiet Ear Records is now Quiet Ear. Working on transitioning things over because it started off as a record label for like vinyl and tapes, and now I'm just kind of going into all kinds of media. Just like anything art related, I kind of want to have a little bit of just kind of have a little bit of everything going on. I mean, I think the basis of it, like the core is like any other business, you buy stuff, you change it, you sell it for more than you bought it for, and then you use that money to do that again and again and again and again. So like, I mean, I'm not going to deny that, like, I literally run a business. I literally do have paperwork that says Quiet Ear LLC, and I will have to pay taxes on this. I'm pretty scared. But like, at the end of the day, what I feel like I'm doing is I am curating artworks and or curating projects with artists that I find interesting and talented and see potential in. Working with them on, or collaborating with them on projects to make physical and digital media happen, and then kind of being involved from conception to reception of like checking before something's created, or like, you know, how's the artwork coming along? Do you need any help with that? Down to like, okay, now that it's out, how are we going to market this? How are we going to push this? Like, how are we going to manipulate algorithms to like make sure it's seen? But also, how do we make these products really beautiful and like fun and enjoyable? You know, like getting a record in the mail is like one thing, and seeing it's beautiful and like it's cool, and then it's like I don't know, another to like listen to it and fully experience it versus like seeing it on a computer screen. I don't know. So I'm trying to like literally think about every single aspect of how people consume things, and then I want to see what I can do.
Would you call it maybe, since you've expanded from just being kind of like like you started obviously as like a tape label, which is pretty niche, you know, and you're trying to like do more things like a vinyl release and things like that, and putting out zines and comic books even. Would you call it maybe publishing now?
That's part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about like, should I call it Quiet Ear Media, Quiet Ear Publishing, blah blah blah, and I figured, I don't know. They're all just big words. It's just Quiet Ear. We're just doing stuff. I'll worry about the paperwork. Y'all just enjoy.
You just don't want it to be too narrowly defined, I see.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I could say publishing, but like music publishing is different than like literature publishing would be different than like, you know, anything like art, visual art, like that's all different. So, and I don't feel like I have enough expertise to really say that I am a publisher of X, Y, and Z. I'm still kind of in the mindset of like, I'm DIY, I'm working on these fun little projects with my friends. And it's mostly like our friend groups that are the people who are like sharing and promoting each other and like buying each other's work, because it's really, we're all just like kind of trading around the same, like trading each other's like music and art and skills and friendship. Like it's like all fun. It's all meant to be fun.
What are some of the projects that because we have a few things projects out already on the Quiet Year that you can look at the website and look at, obviously. What are some of the upcoming things that you feel like, aside from like music that you've recently put out with Quiet Year, like alternate projects that aren't necessarily like fitting on a tape that you're like excited about?
Well, definitely this is one of them. I really want to keep doing this. I really like this. I didn't realize like how much I would enjoy doing live streams, and I always knew that like I don't know. I would always be performing in one way or another. But I didn't realize this would feel a lot better to me than like a lot of other things that I've tried out. And I really like being able to like talk to people and like make people make the face where they're like, "Whoa, I didn't even think about that." But so I definitely want to keep this going. I'm also going into more, I guess like blogging type, like media literature publishing type things too. Like I don't want to restrict it to just say like think pieces, but more like written media, like a little bit more long form than I would say like a album review would be, and doesn't necessarily even have to be about music. I just want to hear about different perspectives, cross perspectives, and kind of just put a lot of different ideas out there and see what gets people's minds going.
If I can kind of piggyback a little bit on that too, I'd be curious to just go back to the streaming concept. What do you feel like it is about this medium that might facilitate comfort? And then maybe like a piggyback question: Is there any reason you choose Zoom versus Twitch versus Facebook Live or anything like that?
Well, I can answer that second part a lot faster than I can answer the first part. The second part is like, why did I pick Zune? It's like literally because I just learned how to use this program first. And it's really intimidating to learn this one. So I tried to start learning Twitch as well, and then that got intimidating. It's not like I can't do it, but I just was like, I'm trying to do this every week. I need to focus on other things. But I'm probably going to move over to a different live streaming platform for the next season that rolls out, simply because it's a little bit more secure and anyone can like hop on here, and I don't want to get bummed again. So like, yeah, it's literally just because I learned this one first. It worked. And so we'll probably see like a little facelift for it later.
I appreciate that. I just want to say I appreciate that, just because I've been doing just little like talks with songwriters and like I use Zoom just because Zoom is kind of what I learned first, which is like interesting that like these kinds of like times have caused us to be like, it's like, well, I know these three chords on the guitar, and like Zoom is kind of like become sort of like that. It's like I know how to do this thing, so run with it and make as much as I can with it, which is kind of cool.
That's been me with putting mixes out, because that's like the only way I can really DJ comfortably at this point, and do what I want out of it.
Yeah. Wait, what was the first part of that question? Something about the stream.
Yeah, what do you think it is about just streaming in general that facilitates your comfort? Because you said you felt like a comfort in doing this, and I find this platform very comforting as well, and it's different than like a normal show. And I like normal shows for one reason, but this one definitely feels different. But I'd be curious to hear why you think so. Why does it feel different?
Yeah, I really like the real-time aspect of live streams. I mean, because we can watch recorded videos, or we can listen to a recording as many times as we want. It's going to be the same thing every single time. As opposed to live streams where, similar to like live shows, technically they will never be exactly the same. Even like the ways that like a person's technology is set up, that will affect how it sounds, and that how that technology is set up is versus that person. I think there's like so many components to it that make it so interesting. But also like again with the real time aspect of it, like I even pre-pandemic I've always been about like I'd rather be on the phone or on like a video call than like texting, unless it's like a yes or no thing, in which case I'll just text yes or no. but like having the opportunity to like talk with people and like things that are interesting while also hearing them respond with their tone and their diction, with like slang and like hearing people laugh and like be silly. I think live streaming has a lot more room for that to happen than would be through like written text interviews or I don't know what other mediums exist out there other than like written interviews and like recorded videos. I know there's like recorded studio sessions and stuff too, but yeah, it's intimate.
Well, Judy, now's the time that I ask you this question. What would you like to see in the future?
What would I like to see in the future? I would like to see so much money. I want to see so much money. Okay, it makes me sound like an asshole, but the thing is there's so much money out there. Like so much to the point where there are people out there who don't know how much money they have. And I would like to find those people. I would like to tell those people, you won't even notice.
Just let me siphon off a little on the side.
They don't need it. And I would like to continue doing this wonderful thing of being able to do whatever I want with my time. That like is something that I really enjoy now. Like I really like being able to devote my time to Quiet Year and Ice Cream Social and to like this live stream. I don't want to go work in a restaurant or I don't want to have to work at all. Like in a beautiful, not capitalist world, I don't have to do shit. I can be sad every single day for the rest of my life, and I won't, die because of it. And I want that. And I want that for all of my friends too.
How can we support you right now in that goal?
Overthrow capitalism.
I agree.
No, but also like in a more honestly in a more tangible sense, I think that people should be having more discussions, more thoughtful discussion and conversation about money. I think it's really intimidating. Money, I think numbers are intimidating. I think math is intimidating for people, but that shit's really real. And as much as we would like to not think about it or just try to do what we can to scrape by, like that shit's like so tangible that I think that like addressing those things can make a really big difference in a lot of people's lives. Whether it's understanding how much like how your wealth works, how much money you have, what your standing is, or even like how money works for other people, the value of a dollar. I think that kind of stuff is like so crucial. And the more money a person has in their life, the more pressure there will be to not talk about those things. There will be more pressure to like hold on to that, to like feel insecure and not want to help, or not even not want to help others, but to feel like you can't help others because you have your own needs to put first. But when we live in a world with like mutual aid and not capitalism, anything other than capitalism, we find that like those fears and anxieties are things that I think can be controlled and managed. And if we do those things, like so many people's needs could be met and not in like a damaging, like people don't have to suffer for other people to not suffer, if that makes sense. Like we can all do it. In my opinion, I think we could all probably do it comfortably, but that's not how humans work. So that's not gonna happen. That's like not what's gonna happen. But it could if you were better.
Judy, is there anything else you'd like the world to know?
Oh my God! I'm like name like a keyword.
Name a keyword. These are your keywords.
I did write questions. I literally did write questions. Shout out to this article about money and DIY gig economy. Ooh, I've been meaning to read this one. Yeah, because it actually came up because Ice Cream Social, we set a goal of $10,000 from this compilation. Not gonna lie, I'm a little scared, but I recognize that is insecurity, and that's fine. I'm not gonna let that stop me from trying really hard with it. But something that was brought up during one of the interviews that we had with a writer. Chanel Noyes is an amazing writer. If anyone's ever looking for a writer, they're one of the best writers in the world. But they were talking to us about that article actually, about how DIY buying power is like very underestimated. Like we see like we look at DIY scenes as like broke artists or whatever, but like Bandcamp, Spotify, you know, venues, these are multi-million dollar corporations. Yeah, so it's like people's purchasing power is outstanding. Young people of color, queer people, marginalized people. The value of these people's attention and time and money, honestly, are undervalued. And so the more we talk about these things, I think it'll just be better. And also, if you're spending more money on good art, you get to have more good art. And artists get to make more good art. It's like a big cycle.
Yeah, give us your money instead of Disney. Fuck Disney. Okay, that's my
Yo, this is recorded. You can't.
Do you think Disney wants to sponsor the show?
I hope not. I hope
Do you think we can get on? Oh my god!
If Disney picks up on this show, you're just gonna become like Starbucks. You're gonna get Starbucks.
I'm gonna get Starbucks.
Yeah, you don't want to get Starbucks. Plug Disney Plus in the chat, please. Give us discounts.
You're not our Disney.
Honestly, I worked at an ice cream shop over the summer, and the owner was like partnered with Disney/Marvel, and the guy who founded the ice cream shop was just like, I graduated with an English BA. And so the guy who founded the ice cream shop was just a guy with an English degree that was like, I'm not making money from this, I'm just going to start making ice cream. And then he was like, what if I just stick Spider-Man on this? And now he got his... so I think I'm going to just start sticking Spider-Man on the next Fear Not t-shirt. And maybe we'll get a Disney sponsorship.
That's that DIY buying power we're talking about right there. Yeah, it's like when those hardcore bands put like an anime character on their shirt. The Joyce Manor trunk shirt, you know?
But I only do Disney characters and Marvel characters. Just put out a full line with just Marvel and Disney characters. What are they gonna do?
It's like those procedurally generated T-shirts that you get on Facebook ads sometimes, where it's like, I love Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Wolverine, and they're all together.
They're all, and they just spell out. They're just like their bodies are like shaped, contorted to spell out the band name. Mm-hmm. I think that's what we'll do. Thank you for the idea.
It's like the YMCA thing, but fear not ourselves.
I'm gonna put every Disney character and every Marvel character on the next shirt. Until we spell out the entire band name. We could just do the acronym.
Not ourselves. Alone it works.
Doing it. Yeah. We got it. Money making machine. All right.
Oh
Thank you,
God.
Judy.
Any other questions for me?
I think we're good. I think we got some good interview time together. I would love to hear Jorge now serenade us if it is the time for that.
Yeah. Should I go into it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mentioned to Judy before I was gonna start playing that I think if we time this right, this might just be right when my lovely girlfriend Katiksa gets home from work, and so it's gonna add some nice kind of room ambiance. I was very excited. I thought we were gonna get the door open on the first chord, but no such luck. It was gonna come in with the floor tom. Instead of the floor tom sound, we'd get.
I can do that. I have to change it to like dry hands.
Alright, ready. One.
Okay, wait, no, I'm not that fast. Give me a second.
No, I'm going for it. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Alright, thank you.
Is it okay if I walk in?
Yeah, that'll be fine. We get an ambiance. Thanks. Alright. Katiksa's also in the band, but I'm playing this solo, but in that way we get a little future performance through that. Okay. Thank you all for being here. My name is Jorge. My pronouns are they and them, and my band is called Fear Not Ourselves Alone, and this first song is called Void.
to make fun of you and your attempts to make something prominent. Sweetheart, you're significant. Your voice moves mountains. Your voice shakes bridges. Your voice breaks a mother's heart. Your voice shakes your father up. Like true love, like true love, where no one is touched. There's no void, no sorrow. No void, but the universe is out to get me. The universe is out to get me. When it's on your mind, what do you believe? It's on your mind. But do you believe that the universe is out to get me? The universe is out to get me. Is out to get me. The universe is out to get me. But it's on your mind. What do you believe? It's on your mind. What do you believe?
Thanks, folks. The next song that I have for tonight is that first song is off our second LP called Gay Shame White Feelings, and it's a big record thinking about too many identities. And this next song is also from this record. The song is called Whitewashed, and it's about having immigrant parents and thinking a lot about that. And I haven't played this song in like forever, so I'm very excited that I can share it with all of you. Okay.
Your parents didn't have the opportunity. You have to be depressed. They were busy working their way out of the country you did not grow up in. Hablando un idioma que ni conoces. soñando de una vida que solo has vivido. Pero usted dice que solo estás deprimido y que ellos no saben de los sueños. So you feel helpless, you feel selfish, you feel whitewashed, taken over, gentrification, except in your skin. You are the Spanish sun with the Spanish blood, the symbol of the people taken over.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. Thanks for the clap, Dan Marina. Thank you for the clap, Sophia. Okay. I teach college freshmen, so usually I'm pretty good at talking and also looking at the chat and such. But when you're singing songs, you can't also click and look at the chat. Or if I read, I'll get distracted. So I'm just going to assume you're all saying nice things in the chat. And not putting any curse words. That's my assumption, that's our promise. Okay. This next song is from our EP that came out this past year. And it's called Be in the Heart of Everyone. And it's a record about just communal isolation and feeling very isolated by your particular experiences. But I think we all kind of feel like that. So this song is called Girl Body, and yeah, it's a song about gender dysphoria, but I think even if you've never experienced it to the same degree, I think we all experience kind of isolation from our personal experiences, so I hope that it enacts empathy. Okay.
I could not face her face to face. Oh my God, oh my God. She is pursuing me in my dreams, pursuing me in my dreams. Screaming, I will appropriate you, I will appropriate you, and we will procreate, that we will procreate. I will inseminate you, I will inseminate you, then we will procreate, then we will procreate. I ran away from my body, I ran away from my girl body, I ran away. I ran away from my girl body, I ran away. I ran away. I ran away. God, I wish I was born without a body. God, I wish I was born like you. God, I wish I was not so indecisive. And God, I wish I did not have to pick a gender. It's something I will not consider. As we walk into my parents' house, where we're all shouting, how you will appropriate me and I will appropriate you. Then everyone procreates, then everyone procreates. You will inseminate me and I will inseminate you. Then everyone procreates, then everyone procreates. We run away. We run away from our girl bodies. We run away. We run away from our boy bodies. We run away. We run away from everybody. We run away. We run away. We ran away.
And that's that one. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Got a couple more for you. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. Wednesdays are typically like my longest day of the week. And so this has been my saving grace and the thing I've been looking forward to. So thank you all for being a little part of it. Thank you, Kathy, for being patient. She got us some momos to eat, and I'm very excited about it. And bubble tea. Thank you. That makes me really happy. Yeah, so it's kind of a stressful start to the day, but I'm excited for this. I'm excited for dinner, and I hope you're all having good days, and if not, some good days are coming your way. Trigger warning in case for the next song does deal with a lot of trauma, and like intergenerational trauma and abuse, and so if you'd like to step away for a bit, that's okay too. It is the last song on our record. It's called Mother.
It's how my mother learns to hate her body when she is 18. No one tells her I will grow up, learn to hate my body when I turn 18. Who stole her worth? Who held her out? Who took her trust? Who gave up on us? We are victims of the body, and we carry that weight. And mother, I'm sorry for how I grew up. You shouldn't hate your body. You shouldn't hate your body. 'Cause I am trying not hate my body. So I really need you to not hate your body. Intergenerational, the way we talk about trauma. It's intergenerational. I will cry for my mother, 'cause she did not deserve that. You did not deserve her kindness. And it's not till I am 18 do I really unpack that. 'Cause mother, I was 15 when I fucked up my body. It's intergenerational, the way we talk through trauma. It's intergenerational, the way we talk through trauma. And mother, I will love myself but it's when I am ready. Tell me who is ready. Tell me who is ready. Thanks so much. I can do one more, I can do two more. I don't know if there's a particular constraint, Judy. Okay, I'm getting you a thumbs up. Let me just check what was good. Okay, we're doing two. Dead Marina says 3, 4, maybe 5 songs. Or he's just saying hello, maybe he's giving 5. Hello! I'm just gonna mute for a second to take a sip of water. Because while this is like ASMR, that part should not be. Judy wants to hear it. I'm gonna get very close. I'm not gonna actually do that. That's my pleasurable sound. But I will. I'll meet you halfway.
Glug, glug, yo.
No! Okay. So I'm gonna do 2 songs from our aforementioned LP. All our stuff is on Bandcamp and Spotify. And, oh yeah, I saw this message in the chat. Judy said everyone take a sip of water, yes. I love that. I had to like answer some interview. Yeah, Dan. I had to answer some interview questions this week. And it's like, I think it was like beverage of choice. And I just put like, we're not ourselves alone, sponsors water. You know, if we could get sponsored by water, I would really, I would go for it. My water bottle 67 ounces, so I take this stuff very seriously. We're getting an advice question, hold on. Sometimes my water bottle is just a reach away and I still cannot make myself drink. Jorge, what should I do? I would just commit to it. I think, tell yourself it's a bit, and then just commit to the bit. And that's the best advice I can offer at this time. But, if you shoot me an email, I can review your situation in specific and we can talk further. Okay. These are the last 2 songs from our last LP. And I'm just going to play them in reverse order. This one I just decided to play today. So I hope it's okay. The song is called Type B. And it's kind of my favorite song on the record. But I put it at the very end so no one could find it. But I hope you like it. Take the needle out, no one hears you. Escape the pronoun, hope no one sees who you used to be, whatever you are. Your battle scars have a fucked up circumstance. And you're getting hot. You're feeling the heat from your reflection. You wanna love beautiful boys with Latin skin, so you feel less bored. More in love with whatever you are. Oh, 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 do-do-do-do. Oh, oh, do-do-do. Sing in Spanish, canta lo que quiero. Es un amor vivo, compartido por no cantar. Porque te vas, cause you get so bored. Staring at your old reflection. But you just really want to use everything that you could ever dream of. So it's my flash in the bathroom mirror when I fall in love with a beautiful woman instead. Oh, oh.
That's that one. Thank you. I'm gonna do one more for y'all. We're going to the Fierce Drop D tuning. Okay. Yeah. This is gonna be the last song for tonight. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Judy, for asking me to play. And Judy made me buttons once from that old band in 2014, and I was super intimidated by them. So now to be colleagues, dare I say it, friends, dare I say it, be their employee, dare I say it, they say no. But very, very thankful. So thank you, Judy, for having me. Thank you, Sophia, for growing this game. Very appreciative, and thank you to my friends and other folks for being here. Thank you, Kathy, again. I appreciate you. Okay. The song's called HRT. It's the second to last song on that record. It's also my favorite song on the record. Those are my two. HRT might be actually the favorite song I've ever written, but it's not my favorite on the record. And I'm allowed to feel like that. Yeah. It's, I guess, a sweet queer and trans love song. It was inspired after I read the book Nevada by Imogen Binney, which, if you've ever been like a DIY punk or had any sort of queer identity or checked both boxes, I really recommend reading that book. It's kind of like YA-ish, like imagine your entire life and identity but made into a YA novel. And it's like really aggressive and it's like being added the entire time. I hated it, but I read it twice and then I wrote this song about it. But yeah, I guess it's we don't have enough love songs for queer and trans people, so okay.
Take me to your car. Love my body, love the scars. Make me less depressed than you. Love the pretty girl you are. When you need me, like a dog in heat, take me between hormone injections. Opposite of what you were born with. If it makes you less depressed than me, take those drugs to feel pretty. Inject them through your leg. Look more like you do in your head.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Woo! Yay! That was so good.
Thank you.
That was so good. Thank you so much for performing.
Yeah, of course. That was so fun. That was truly the highlight of my day.
Oh gosh, highlight of my day too now.
Oh, thank you.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good. Yeah, I think usually after like a solo set, like in front of a crowd at like a small show or something, I'm usually like in panic mode after or something. But I guess similar to the reason I brought up the question to you earlier, it's just like on these kinds of streams, it's like very like pour your heart out, but I don't know. We're all just square boxes on the screen, so it feels very like leveling. And so I feel very comfortable. So I'm just appreciative that people wanted to hear.
Y'all are square boxes in my heart.
We're all but Brady Bunch. We're perfect and square.
Exactly. No, but it's really nice. I do think there's something to being able to play or perform and then immediately you're already home.
Oh, truly.
For all you all know, I haven't been wearing pants for the past like 20 something weeks.
I teach all the time and I'm like, students, you should look proper for class. Students, you should turn your camera on. And I'm just, nice sweater, cozy shorts. So I get it.
There we go. There you go. Yeah, how's your day been? You said that you've had a pretty packed day.
Yeah, Wednesdays are typically like my longest day. I like wake up every Wednesday. Katixa has work, so I wake up a little early extra on Wednesday to make her oatmeal before she has to go to work, and also make myself oatmeal. And that was very good. And then I teach at 9:30, and I have like about 27 college freshmen, and that's enjoyable. My students are like good, and like yeah, I think I feel for anyone that is like I'm going to pursue a job or like school or education during like these like fucked up pandemic times, because it's like so difficult, and I'm trying really hard to just be like super empathetic and supportive, and been just having a lot of like little extra meetings with my students to just like help them catch up with work and stuff, because it's just like I don't know, we just gotta like look out for each other, especially like I think about myself as like I don't know, someone that needed a lot of support when I was like in that age range, like the 18 to 25 range or whatever. And so I don't know, whenever you can give back, and I think that's something I got from like punk music. But so taught this morning, and then had two meetings with students, and then um, I'm the assistant director of this mentoring program at my old college that I graduated from. But so I had to lead like this work meeting just because like my actual boss like was busy. But so I had to lead a meeting too after like teaching and conferencing for like 3 hours. And so that was like, so by like 1 p.m. I'm already like, I feel like I've done 2 work days in one, and I'm just like, I'm exhausted. But and then had some lunch, um and then just did like some miscellaneous just emails. Had about an hour where that I set aside so I could practice for today. um and then I had class. My Wednesday class is like my favorite class. It's like the teaching of composition and rhetoric. So essentially, it's a class on like how do you teach college freshmen, which is really fun to do while you're teaching college freshmen. It's my first time formally doing it, but so it's kind of cool to like take a class on it while you're actually doing it. But so just super jam packed. And the moment that ended, I jumped on this call so Judy and I could sound check. Um, but so I just kind of haven't stopped doing stuff today, so I'm just very on 1% brain. But the performance gave me like a second wave a little bit.
What did you say that your partner brought home to eat?
Um, she brought home momos, which are Tibetan, right? They're, yeah, they're kind of like, sort of like little like dumplings. Um,
Like doughy bread, right?
yep. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm super excited about that. Um, yeah, where I live in Queens, New York is like super like there's like a big influx of like Tibetan immigrants, and so it's just like lots of cool food, but also just like my neighborhood is like influx of like immigrants from everywhere. So thankful that, and having grown up here, like access to cool people and cool food, blah blah blah. Excited to eat. My brain is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Actually, something that I thought was interesting that you brought up was like learning how to teach while you're teaching. And so it's kind of like it's like a direct outpouring of you're receiving this information, processing it, and then immediately using it, and then that feeds back into you. And so you're like constantly modifying I guess like your thought processes and like how you hold yourself as like an educator and as a student. I think that's like a really particularly interesting position to be in. um yeah, how does it feel being someone who is still a student, who is still, young and chipper out there, who is speaking to people who are also just younger and chipper?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. Yeah, the before like I was like teaching and stuff, I was like I like finished college in 2017, and like I was more preoccupied with like other like personal life things, and like also just still like working hard on music, but also just dealing with a lot of like mental health things that like I just kind of ended up working at a special programs writing center at my old college, in like a program that's like specifically geared to like help like students of like lower socioeconomic backgrounds. But so I just ended up at this like writing center job, and I didn't really know what I wanted to quote unquote do with my life. But I feel like life is like, with a few years later now, I'm like life is so big, like you can do so much with life. But so I was just like working this like weird tutoring job essentially. And so I spent a lot of time, and like at some point I was working almost like 40 hours a week just reading students' papers all day. But it like led to like a lot of like cool interactions with just like 18 to 22-year-olds who like had similar backgrounds to me, but who also just needed like some extra support. So in that way, I feel like I've had to sort of, I'm also like the younger sibling of two children, but so I feel like I've had to kind of like grow up a little bit, which I think has been really helpful. I think it's helped me like acknowledge my own like personal like privileges, and also just think about like decentralize myself, which like regardless of your status, I think is really hard to do and like understandable because like we're only in here all day. But just working with like young people just made me go like, this is not about me, you know, and so like just think about how I can like support young people. So yeah, so I kind of, the long story short, I just felt like I had to become mom. That's the joke I make, you know. I just feel like I had to become mom for a bunch of people. And so in some ways I'm like, I feel like when other people were like, I'm 22 and like party, and I'm just like, I'm 22 and these are my kids, I hope they're okay. Um,
Mhm.
but and I think it's been productive, and you know, yeah, and so it's nice. It's nice because you know, yeah,
Yeah, because you brought up the fact that I didn't even realize that I made you buttons back in 2014, and mind you, that's like what, 6 years ago. So back at the time, I was 21. I do not remember a lot of being 21, but like, I mean, that was such like a different time in my life, and to see, I guess, like us ending up back in like similar circles again after like a handful of years. And like that button interaction probably just happened through the internet, and I had no like personal connection to you at all, and then seeing us later grow up to become who we are now, it's really interesting. I mean, like, I'm sure like the music that we were into, the music that we were writing is going to be different because we were different people then. And then examining now, yeah, like how we've grown up, I think that's really interesting. I think that's something that I've seen come through your albums actually, because I looked at your Bandcamp. There's quite a few. Um, I would say like probably like an even amount of like EPs and LPs over the span of like the past like 2-ish years. That's a shit ton of music. I gotta say, by the way, that is so much. That's like awesome. It's like really cool that you're just like constantly creating. Um, and so a lot of the themes in your music is like identity and processing and growing up. And so I was wondering like how does it feel to revisit songs that you've written before in the past, and then to kind of bring them to this more intimate setting now here in November 2020 with this group of people with who you are now. How does that feel?
yeah. I appreciate that question a lot. Yeah, it's yeah. I've kind of taken the stance of like, because I'm a Virgo. We'll just say that that's my answer. No, but I feel like Virgos are just super like analytic and annoying and like perfectionist about things, and like you know, but also in the same way, like when I was like 19, or like back in 2014 when I was 19, like I gravitated towards like lo-fi music and things like that, and in some circumstances even with each release, as our recordings become more hi-fi, either by going to the studio or just like me becoming like better at recording, um I just kind of hit a point of just me working on so many projects that like I don't know, I'm very comfortable with the idea that like a song is never finished, and so that's that. I guess that's just how I feel about it. Like it just feels like the ways I performed the songs tonight, even just like was like a lot of the lyrics were swapped out. Like the last song, HRT, like I sang the clean version, which is just more so about like love and just like caring for each other. Where the version on the album is much more like explicit and has to do with like, you know, it's very explicit about, I think the lyric is like, fuck my asshole but not too hard, and so it's just like a lot more like vulgar and like intense. But like me now, and like two three
So much
years later,
more.
go
It's
ahead,
very
yeah.
relatable.
Truly. um but truly trying to write the relatable songs for all peoples. um but yeah, and so, but just the way I wanted to play it tonight, and even like right before I played, I was like, I think I'm gonna say asshole, and then like I decided like not to last second, like the words just didn't come out of my mouth. But which is to say, I love songs because I think they're ever changing and just reflecting of like whatever I'm thinking and doing, and like um during the song Mother today, I was just kind of like slapping the guitar the whole time. And like I just had that idea like today when I was like practicing. I was like, oh, this is kind of a very fun percussive sound. We'll do it like that, you know? And so I like recording in that because it like kind of captures a picture. I feel a little sad that like people might not see the full picture, like every like experience I've had with these songs. And like I've had so many rotating lineups of bandmates that like the songs have been played different live throughout the years and such, and just like there's so many different arrangements that I wish I could show people that just like, will never see the light of day. But that also I think just keeps it like really personal and intimate. And so like whenever I'm finally there able to record it, like I'm excited that people will see that version. But like will they ever, this is like my stupid English degree going, but like will they ever know the song? Is like fun to think about and keeps it really just like fun for me, and I learn new things about myself. So yeah, it's fun.
I have a related question. Are you a covers person?
Um, I can do like I do them, but yeah, and when I do covers, I don't know. I hope to just try and like make them my own as much as possible. I also just don't feel particularly like good at guitar or something, so I just feel like I always have to like break it down to just like how can I do this in like G and E minor and C or something. Um, but why do you ask that?
Because I feel like you said, like songs always have like a new rendition and they're never quite finished, you know?
Oh, okay.
And I think one of the great things about like really great music and great songs is that like in different people's hands, they allow different people to sing different things into them and find different things in them and take different things out of them. Um, and it's just
That's
like
cool.
kind of in the spirit of like a piece of art that's ever evolving in a way. Um, and it just seems like something that a person who's always changing music that they are themselves writing would have like an interesting take on different songs that they chose to cover, like a particularly personal take on different songs, like you said, like stripped down. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. I actually feel a little bit of the opposite in that I feel like I struggle with covers a little bit, just
Hmm.
because in the same way that I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm still like struggling to figure out like what my songs are about. Like for me to cover something feels like I would really have to like enter that person, and like it's so like yeah, I mean like I do covers, blah blah blah, I'm a musician, but like
Yeah.
to really like, yeah, when I see like bands like put out like covers, it's just it's like really phenomenal because I'm just like how are you able to enter that headspace, you know, and just enter that person that way. That's just me be
Hmm.
like overthinking my feelings again, but like I don't know. So
Yeah.
it's really cool to think about it like that.
I as a person who plays like guitar but for like metal purposes more so than like hardcore, the way that it looks for me more often than not, like specifically when I'm like I find a piece of music that I particularly like, is that I try to like just let it influence me and not like rip it off, so to speak, you know. But when bands do like the full on cover, I always prefer it when they make it their own in a way, rather than just try to do like a straight faithful thing to it. And I think that's like the only reason to do covers and stuff, honestly.
That's cool, and I
But
appreciate that because it's just like, yeah, again, like I just mentioned, like I struggle with them, so it's just like
mhm,
I think that's a really great approach to them, which makes me feel so much better about it. And like,
yeah.
yeah, thank you.
I have a question about something that you brought up before about trying to come up with like relatable songs. Something that stuck out to me with like your lyrics actually is the use of particular terms. I guess like big words like gentrification and like intergenerational trauma. I would even say procreation is a word that I wouldn't normally hear as often in like love songs, even about sex. You know what I mean? But like using those kinds of words, I think is pretty powerful. Um, and particular. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts surrounding your choice to use those words in particular.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and that might just again like speak a little bit to just kind of like I think because my old project and when I was kind of like getting into like making music and doing like super lo-fi music, it was all just like very like cathartic and like reactionary and you know, and I think that's good and I think people should do that. But that was the same time when I guess like I was just going to school and I was just reading a lot of books, and I was, the class that really like stuck with me, no surprise, would be like my gender and sexuality class. And we talked about like how our bodies could be like, you know, seen as like texts, and like that same semester I took like a class called like aspects of poetry, and it talked about like how when we look at like how like words can represent borders that represent like, you know, like the like two nationhoods of an identity like being separated. And like I was like, I'd never thought about myself like that hard or something. And like, so like in the song like whitewash, when I use like the word gentrification, I am really like thinking about like what it means for me to be like a child of immigrants, but also having been born and raised in America, and also to be like white, um and also just be in like New York and like see and like I don't know, be participating in the New York music scene, where like my best option is like Brooklyn, but then it's just like let me go like socialize with like musicians who are all just like gentrifiers, and like that's like complicated, but so it just feels like we're all just kind of like participating and like fucking around. And it's like I don't know, it just something doesn't like sit right with me in that when I think about like nationhood and like my parents and like my own like life choices. And I don't think you should like guilt yourself for having fun. I think that's not what I hope to like get across. But like I don't know, just like added like a weight for me, and like why I think once I like started working more with like kids around my age and seeing like their issues and putting into perspective more of my own, and just realizing like there's a bigger picture here, and like I want people to interact with that. And I think music is a really accessible medium for that. And one, it's the way I feel most comfortable with it. Two, I think it's just such a good medium for it. Just because like we can make paintings, and like that's important, and we can make like books, and like that's really important, and we should. But it's just like people won't always like go to a museum, or they just won't always like aren't as avid book readers, and so it's just like you can hit them with a really song about it, something important. And so that's just kind of like the one rule I set for myself with Fear Not. It's just like just always try to make it about like something important. Yeah.
That's lovely. That's
Thanks.
really nice. I like it. That's really cool to hear. Um, so I guess the next question I have for you is kind of one that Sophia actually asked me before. But what would you like to see in the future? What do you want for the future?
Um, yeah, it sounds like a little maybe like general or like wishy-washy, but I don't know. I think just like a lot of my music has kind of dealt with like pain, and whether it's my own pain or just like the pain of just like other people. Um, when I put things in like a grander or wider perspective, I just think like the world has been in such like strong moments of like chaos and chaos and chaos, and now we're starting to see like inklings of like hope, or I'm not talking about the presidency because like fuck that shit, um, but just like to have like language for like non-binary identity and like gender fluid identity, and to see proliferation of it, and see like love between people that like wasn't like allowed before, and to be the people that we've always dreamt of being. Like I think of those things and I feel very hopeful. And so we're still, I think, in that period of chaos. But what I would like to see in the future is now like future healing, and like should I ever have a kid, or just like I'm about to be an uncle, which is non-binary aunt uncle. And I hope my
Wow.
niece, I hope my niece grows up, and it's like that one Told Slant song, blah blah blah. I hope that she grows up in a better world than the one I did. And so that's just kind of what I hope for.
Yeah. Um, have you ever seen that like tweet about how sometimes you can hear when a person's saying folks with an X?
Yes.
I feel like the what is it, uncle?
Uncle, unks, looks.
Uncle. I hear an X in there somehow.
That's awesome.
The aux cord.
The aux cord.
Uncle. I'm gonna
The
workshop that.
aux. Yeah, hand me the aux. No, I don't know. I wish there was another English term for that. I mean, because there's like siblings and like nibblings even. I don't know, but
Dude.
aunt, uncle. There's gotta be something better out there. There's gotta be something for
Wait, nibblings. I thought siblings was already gender neutral. My
nibblings for like nieces nephews, right? I call them
Oh,
nibblings.
wait, what?
Is that not what
Okay,
nibblings mean?
I see. I didn't know that was a thing. I never heard that before.
Oh, yeah.
I,
I say
I was
nibblings for
like, I
nieces
thought
and
it was,
nephews.
okay, I'm sorry. I'm oblivious.
Cancel.
I'm
Cancel.
canceled
You're
now
fired. You're
because of
fired.
my obliviousness. I'm old.
Oh my God, you're not even that old. Whatever. Anyway, Jorge, in your pursuits of a better world, how can we support you right now?
Um, yeah, just well, everything about like just like creating better worlds, blah blah blah. Just like invest in your own communities and just like give back to young people or people who are easily forgotten and blah blah blah. I don't know, and to the capacity you can, like no one person is gonna like fix any major thing, but you can make like a large impact in your own communities, and that's why I was like so hyped to like. That's why I kept asking questions about Ice Cream Social, because I was just
Yeah,
like, oh, that's such a great thing that exists.
it
Um,
is. It
We're
really
very
is.
lucky.
and yeah,
For sure.
so I mean that's like my main thing. If you want to just support the grander mission, and otherwise like I don't know, just tell your friends about what Fear Not's working on, and yeah, just I'm gonna keep writing songs forever. It's the only thing I know how to do, and just like it's truly like my gut reaction to everything. So no matter what happens, like I'll 10 years from now I'll still be writing songs about probably this stuff. So I hope people listen eventually.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there.
For
Is there
sure.
anything else you would like to say to the world?
Yeah. The motto is "Stream Fear Not Ourselves Alone" on Spotify. Otherwise we're on Bandcamp and Twitter and Instagram and all that. That's my media plug. But otherwise, I don't know. I just always like to end with like be good to each other and yeah, decentralize yourself as much as possible, but also still remember that you're someone that you need to take care of too.
It was lovely meeting you, Jorge.
Also lovely to meet you, Sophia. Your band is very sick, so I was very
Thank you.
happy. Yeah, very happy that we got to chat a bit.
Same.
Yeah. Thank you both for being on the show. Thank you to everyone who's here or who was here or who is watching in the future
We'll be here in the
from
future.
the recording. Ooh, we're talking to future people. But yeah, just as a quick reminder, this is Premier Wednesdays. My name's Judy, and we're fundraising for Virginia Anti-Violence Project at virginiaadp.org/donate. Feel free to give resources. If you need help, reach out. Or if there's an organization near you that also serves LGBTQIA plus individuals, survivors of violence, marginalized people, please feel free to reach out, get help, give help, do what you can. Like Jorge said, be good to each other. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.
Take care, y'all. Thanks.